Welcome. I'm Craig Parsons and I'm an Organisational Development and Training Facilitator. And what I'll be doing is I'll be taking you through how to complete the appraisal paperwork. I will take you through how to complete the paperwork, but first I want to look at why the appraisal is so important to our trust. Our trust understands that the appraisal process, if done correctly, will not only engage and motivate our staff, but also provide them with a chance to understand how they fit in to our unique organisation. The organisation has three main factors that are the foundation of the appraisal paperwork. The first is our trust vision. Our trust vision statement defines our organisation's purpose and also focuses on the organisation's goals and aspirations. These statements are designed to be uplifting and inspiring. They are also timeless, because even if the organisation changes its strategy, the vision will always remain the same. Second are our values. Our values are important as they underpin everything we do. We have developed a framework that sets out the core behaviours and attitudes we expect from our staff. We recognise how important these attitudes and behaviours are when delivering a positive and patient staff experience. Thirdly are our Trust yearly objectives. These define the Trust's purpose, and these are the primary objectives. These objectives explain why we exist as an organisation. These objectives are short, clear, and powerful. The main reason for the new appraisal process is to ensure that our staff are supported, are clear about what is expected of them and why, and to have the skills to do their jobs to the best of their ability. These crucial factors help deliver the Trust's key priorities of patient safety and of high quality patient care. It is essential that we ensure that all staff have an appraisal each year and that it is of the highest quality. The main purpose of appraisal is to give the appraisee the opportunity to reflect on their work and learning needs in order to improve their performance. So how do we go about doing this? By creating a regular dialogue between the appraisee and the appraiser, by connecting individual goals, talents and ambitions to those of the wider team, and of course the overall organisation. We also want to help the individual reflect on their behaviour. We want to support the appraisee to take positive action towards their team and individual goals. We want to give the appraisee accountability and ownership to achieve their best. What does the appraisal process mean? It means accountability for both the appraiser and appraisee by setting clear objectives and to monitor these throughout the year. We want to support discussions on how staff live their values in their work. We want contribution to achievements of our top priorities of patient safety and of high quality patient care. So how do we support our staff? We have developed the appraisal preparation document, this screencast, a paper how-to guide, and we have workshops that run throughout the year. This screencast focuses on the appraisal paperwork. The form is 5 pages long, it is easy to use, and it captures all key areas, such as values, equalities, objectives, potential and development. So let's move on to how to complete the appraisal paperwork. To complete the paperwork, first you must go to the organisational webpage, StaffNet. Once loaded onto StaffNet, you will see popular links. Here you will see the hyperlink for the Trust appraisal process. Click the hyperlink. Here you will see the updated appraisal documentation, such as the appraisal form, the appraisal how-to guide, the appraisal preparation document, our values and behaviours framework, our staff equalities objectives, and many more. What we're going to focus on today is the appraisal form. Click on the hyperlink, it'll download to your screen. Now click into place. Here you will see the front page, or section 1, of the appraisal paperwork. What we need to do is actually fill out the appraisee's name, appraiser's name, appraisee's job title, and appraiser's job title. It is important you both sign this document, as both appraisee and appraiser will need to agree and sign in order for the form to be binding. The next stage of the form is to identify your previous year's objectives, if any, and enter these in the fields identified. This area is a snapshot and can be discussed in section 2. Due to the nature of the form, it is important to identify any regular one-to-ones you have with your appraisee. This document is a working document and should be filled out and reviewed on a regular basis. As mentioned in the introduction, the paperwork front page, section 1, highlights the importance of the Trust's vision, the Trust's objectives, and the Trust's values and behaviours. In the middle section, it is always important to include your own directorate or departmental objectives. If you do not know your departmental or directorate objectives, you must contact senior management within your area. It is important to understand your directorate's key priorities or objectives, as these will drive your focus for writing meaningful objectives that have purpose and conviction towards the Trust's strategic aims. More information on the Trust's key priorities can be found in the annual report summary, which highlights past successes and future plans of the organisation. Let's move on to section 2, the annual review of previous year. This section focuses on the previous year's achievements and details lessons learned in order to drive greater success for the individual and team. Within this section, it is always encouraged that the appraiser focuses on what did the appraisee enjoy over the past 12 months and what has been their proudest moment. Open questions that start with either who, what, why, where, when will enable greater thought and meaning to the conversation. A closed question, such as "Did you enjoy last year?" would only produce a closed answer, such as "Yes." Open questions provide greater clarity on the individual's wants, needs, and motivations. The appraiser should encourage the appraisee to think on their work from both a competency and behavioural stance in order to achieve a rounded and fluid conversation. With an open conversation, the conversation will be rich in areas that shine with excellence, and areas that could be improved will be noted. On page 3, this is where the areas identified for improvement should be noted, and next steps such as actions and timescales to meet expectations. It is important that when areas of improvement have been identified, solutions should be the primary focus. The next section to complete is the mandatory training field. It is the responsibility of the manager to check completion of the mandatory training. Completion of the appraisal must be recorded on the Oracle Learning Management System, or OLM for short, and the detailed links are highlighted. If you are unsure of any aspect of mandatory training, please see the flowchart for support. If for any reason mandatory training isn't up to date, actions must be in place in order for any outstanding mandatory training to be completed in a set time frame. Let's move on now to section 3, objective setting and identifying priorities for the next 12 months. This section should be mutually discussed and agreed during the appraisal, taking into account trust, departmental, and relevant team objectives and any actions identified on the previous page. Objectives should be SMART, meaning specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound. It is mandatory that the Values and Behaviours Framework and Staff Equality and Diversity objectives are discussed when agreeing objectives. This will reinforce and embed the Trust's expectations in meeting the objectives. All staff must select an equalities objective to work on during the year, and you can find these through StaffNet on our documentation page. A full list of staff equalities objectives is available through this link that is highlighted. Remember, when writing SMART objectives, Focus on what you need the individual to achieve, and keep objectives under review throughout the year. Objectives should be challenging and aim to achieve positive outcomes. Avoid setting too difficult or too easy objectives, as both can be demotivating. Let's move on now to Section 4, Learning and Development. Learning and development needs should initially be considered to support the objectives that have been set for the coming year. The following are learning solutions that can aid the appraisee's development. For example, any internal face-to-face training, training such as leadership and management training, IT user training, or soft skills such as time management. You can also select options such as coaching and mentoring, or any e-learning modules that could be of benefit. Finally, the form gives both the appraisee and appraiser the opportunity to write any additional information that hasn't been discussed in the previous pages. These sections are there for the appraisee and appraiser to make any comments, reflections, or to write narrative relating to the previous and coming 12 months. These sections can be used as an overall summary of where the appraisee and appraiser thinks that the appraisee is heading within their career. Remember, once the appraisal is over, depending on your divisional process, the appraisal should be recorded on the Oracle Learning Management System, OLM, as soon as possible. We have come to the end of this screencast, and I hope you have found this guide useful. If you require more support regarding appraisal, such as having meaningful conversations, or how to motivate and engage individuals, and to write smart objectives, come along to one of Organisational Development's appraisal sessions. You can book on one of these sessions through your OLM user located within your area. The Organisational Development team and I wish you well in your next appraisal session. Thank you for watching.